Hello, what's up there, everyone? I decided to talk about some of the major event that happened over this past fucking week/week and a half with the whole Roe v. Wade shit, and then hearing fucking Benny Boy Shapiro trying to say that the person who leaked the fucking opinion piece deserves to go to fucking prison and be tried in a court of law. Uh, Here's the thing. All I can say to Ben Shapiro on: fuck you. No. Leaking a massive fucking opinion that would overturn a major fucking thing such as Roe v. Wade. Yeah, you know what I call that? I don't call that a fucking crime. I call that a fucking service, dude. That's actual fucking journalism for you. You want to try and fucking sit here and pretend that you're any idea of a fucking journalist? You're not. You're nothing more than a fucking mouthpiece for conservative propaganda. So honestly, to Ben Shapiro, get fucked. So let's get to reading this shit show. Ah, shit. Okay. Video capture device, display capture, background. Okay. In this first draft, so it could possibly change, but it's not going to. At the time of Roe, 30 states still prohibited abortion at all stages. In the years prior to that decision, about a third of the states had liberalized their laws, but Roe abruptly ended that political process. Here's the thing, I don't give a fuck about your state's rights, I care more about individual rights, you dipshits. Honestly, the fact that Donald Trump managed to stack 3 of the fucking Supreme Court, one of them was supposed to have been Barack Obama to have picked one, but that shit didn't happen because you guys were obstructing him. Let's call you guys what you are. You're massive authoritarians. Effectively struck down the abortion laws of every single state. False. There are still abortion laws. There are still limits. So, right here, I would actually begin to say this is rather false. It imposed the same highly restrictive regime on the entire nation and it giving people rights. How the fuck does that put strain on the regime? How does it hold a highly restricted regime? Can someone please answer that one? Just because it takes the states' rights away from fucking persecuting people doesn't mean that it's a fucking regime. Matter of fact, it's rather the opposite. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. The Constitution holds no reference to abortion. Individual rights, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision, including the one in which the defenders of Roe and Casey now chiefly rely the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. That provision has been held to guarantee some rights that are not mentioned in the Constitution, but any such right must be deeply rooted in this nation's history and tradition. Yeah, that's funny you should say that, considering that you were taking shit that's not even part of this a part of this nation's history. Huh. Fucking brilliant, huh? A flaw in the fucking logic here. The fact that I can count this fucking flaw just goes to show that these people don't really deserve to be on the Supreme Court. And they should be held accountable. I personally do wish that the Supreme Court was held by elections. I think it would be a lot fucking better. Roe's abuse of judicial authority. Judicial authority. like I said, I don't give a fuck about states' rights if they start fucking trying to impede upon individuals' rights, which they are. At least 22 of the states have, like, what, fucking trigger laws that just, right when Roe v. Wade gets overturned, like that. Texas is one of them. The reasoning was exceptionally weak, false. Its reasoning, and the decision has had damaging consequences. How? What are the damaging consequences? Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. How the fuck do you get closer to a truth without debate? My fucking god, dude. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. Yeah, they don't fucking really represent anyone other than basically massive corporations. Both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they can suck all three, my left, my right, and my dick. The permissibility of abortion and the limitations upon it are to be resolved, like most important questions in our democracy, by citizens trying to persuade one another and then voting. That is what the constitutional rule of law demand. Well, the thing is, if we have mass fucking opinions on it, which actually support Roe v. Wade, there you fucking go. So let's get to the important shit. And we know what they're trying to do. Trump practically helped to stack the fucking court. Well, helped to stack the court against this shit. Until the latter part of the 20th century, there was no support in American law for a constitutional right to obtain an abortion. Zero. None. No state constitutional provision had recognized such a right. Now we have. Things change. You're pulling shit from the fucking 13th century. 13th century treaties. Sir Edward Coke's 17th century treatise likewise asserted that abortion of a quick child was murder if the child be born alive, and the great misprision if the child dieth in her body. Some heinous offense under the... Okay, here's the question. What about fucking miscarriages? What about, medical necessities for an abortion, which those exist? Like to say if the child, if the embryo / fetus was actually stuck in the fallopian tube. It gets too big, the fucking fallopian tube bursts, and both of them die. The mother dies of internal bleeding. But you guys aren't ready to have that question now. You guys aren't ready to answer that one, are you? An abortion has been throughout history. Like, it's not a modern thing. I mean, hell, it's even stated in the fucking Bible. Although pro-quickening abortion was not itself considered homicide, it does follow that abortion was permissible at common law, much less that abortion was a legal right. It is. When the prisoner had no malicious intent, takes it and kills him, this is likewise murder. Just to kill the woman, this is murder, and the person who gave it. Okay. The inescapable conclusion is that a right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history or traditions. On the contrary, an unbroken tradition of prohibiting abortion on pain of criminal punishment persisted from the earliest. Things change. Here's the thing: bodily fucking autonomy. But you guys would try to make an argument about that. About if there's bodily autonomy, people would do drugs and prostitution. Well, yeah. It's a logical fucking conclusion now, is it? If they're not harming anyone else, let them be. It's so fucking simple. It's so easy to understand. And it seems like a lot of both sides have this fucking problem that they can't seem to wrap their head around. And honestly, any fucking libertarian supporting this shit, knowing full well the consequences, I refuse to fucking call them libertarians. I outright fucking refuse them. I will outright fucking refuse to call anyone supporting the fucking Republican Party libertarian. Sure, you can support in terms of economics, but we actually do have a libertarian party, no matter how fucking weak it is in terms of politics here. Roe terms this as a right to privacy, intimate and personal choice that are central to personal dignity and autonomy. It is. At the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own concept of existence, of meaning, of the universe, and of the mystery of human life. The court did not claim that this broadly framed right is absolute, and no such claim would be plausible. While individuals are certainly free to think and to say what they wish about existence, meaning the universe, and the mystery of human life, they are not always free to act in accordance with these thoughts. License to act on the basis of such beliefs may correspond to one of many understandings of liberty, and it is certainly not ordered liberty. It's a deeper philosophical concept, yes. It is rather wide, but yes, this is undoubtedly, it is individuals' autonomy, which you guys don't give a fuck about. It's stated within this fucking draft. Ordered liberty sets limits and defines the boundary between competing interests. Roe and Casey each struck a particular balance between the interest of a woman who wants an abortion and the interest of what they termed potential life. Yeah. Potential life doesn't fucking exist as of yet. And it doesn't have to exist. And I know that there are going to be people trying to fucking say that, what if my mother aborted me before I was born? I wouldn't be here suffering through a country that practically betrayed its fucking ideals. I wouldn't be here dealing with the bullshit that is adulthood. I'd be perfectly fucking okay with that. I just wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be dealing with people's stupidity. Nation's historical understanding of ordered liberty does not prevent people's elected representatives from deciding how abortion should be regulated. Well, instead of making their own, they should be representing the people. That's how democracy works, or a representative democracy. These attempts to justify abortion through appeals to a broader right of autonomy and to define one's concept of existence prove too much. Those criteria, at a high level of generality, could license fundamental rights for illicit drug use, prostitution, and the like. Yeah, they should be legal. That's consistency for you. Get your moralistic asses out of the fucking Supreme Court. Jesus fucking Christ. This is the shit that Americans, like, this is what we pick. It's fucking pathetic. And they practically do the same thing with gay marriage too. And honestly, I fucking hope that they try, because Stonewall 2, Rainbow Boogaloo would be fucking hilarious to see. Like, that they would drag these people out and just start fucking just curb stomping them. Which I think would be rather justified whenever you're trying to fucking take people's rights away. Americans who believe that abortion should be restricted press countervailing arguments about modern developments. Okay. Have little reason to fear that the baby will not find a suitable home. That's funny, which is why we have people who practically hop from foster home to foster home, and you practically fuck them over in every which way possible. We have long recognized, however, that stare decisis is not an inexorable command. Pearson versus Callahan. And it is at its weakest when we interpret the Constitution. You guys interpret the Constitution in one way. There are different ways. I mean, there's the originalists, which are a bunch of dumb fucks. There are the people who actually do see that the Constitution should be able to change and evolve over time, granting more freedoms to people. I am one of them. It is a living document. And honestly, with the way that the Constitution is written, I would actually say that it's somewhat vague to try and, increase the freedoms of everyone. This is actually taking people's freedoms away. On many other occasions, the court has overruled important constitutional decisions. We include a partial... Oh, okay. Yep. Here we go. On many other occasions, this court has overruled important constitutional decisions. We include a partial list in the footnote that follows. Obergefell versus Hodges, Supra, right to same-sex marriage. Overruling Baker versus Nelson. Citizens United versus federal election, right to engage in campaign-related speech. Overruling Austin versus Michigan Chamber of Commerce, and partially overruling McConnell versus federal election comps. Montejo versus California, Sixth Amendment right to counsel. Overruling Michigan versus Jackson, 1986. Crawford versus Washington, right to confront witnesses. Overruling Lawrence versus Texas, right to engage in consensual same-sex intimacy in one's home. Yeah. Because they're two consenting adults. So, right here, this just kind of guarantees what they're really going after this. Opinion of the court. So, yeah. Roe was on a collision course with the Constitution from the day it was decided, and Casey perpetuated its errors. The errors do not concern some arcane corner of the law of little importance to American people. This is actual fucking legitimate importance. The court usurped the power of to address the question of profound moral and social importance that the Constitution unequivocally leaves for the people. Casey described itself as calling both sides of the national controversy to resolve their debate, but in doing so, Casey necessarily declared a winning side. is a logical winning side here. It's the pro-choice, the pro-freedom side. The court short-circuited the democratic process by closing it to a large number of Americans who dissented in any respect from Roe. Roe fanned into life an issue that has inflamed our national politics in general and has obscured with its smoke the selection of justices to this court in particular ever since. Yeah, the thing has been for 45 fucking years, and they should have codified it into fucking law. Thanks, Democratic Party. You practically did nothing. We can blame every fucking Democratic president since then. Constitutional rights of personal privacy at 152, but it conflated two very different meanings of the term: the right to shield information from disclosure and the right to make implement important personal decisions without governmental interference. Only the cases involving the second sense of the term would have any possible relevance to the abortion issue. Then we use it. Right to send children to religious school. Honestly, I don't really fucking care for the idea of a religious school. You're there to be educated and your thoughts challenged. If you're not having your thoughts challenged, then the education is completely fucking worthless. Right of married persons to obtain contraceptives. Same for unmarried persons. Yeah, and they should stay that way. The fact that we now also have fucking states trying to ban contraception. Are you fucking serious? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Roe did not provide... What Roe did not provide was any cogent justification for the lines it drew. Yeah, it did. Why, for example, does the state have no authority to regulate its first trimester abortions for the purpose of protecting a woman's health? Says the party that wants small government. Yeah, so this is what we have to deal with. This is what Trump left us. And then people wonder why I don't fucking vote. So yeah, if you liked me raging about this, go ahead, fucking subscribe and shit. Yeah, I saw that fucking Elon Musk fucking Twitter. Jesus Christ. Honestly, there is one good thing about him buying off Twitter. For one thing, you can have people like fucking Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos fucking come by, and it'd be fucking hilarious because everyone would just make fun of them. I would love to make fun of Nick Fuentes. He's such a fucking... He's such a twat. He's such an unbearable twat, and the fact that people actually fucking listen to him is rather saddening. But yeah, if you like it, like, subscribe. I guess you can say I will. I do see the idea of individual autonomy as the highest order that America should fucking follow, but it refuses to. Let's be honest. It's not like we had really any fucking principles whatsoever. I've gotten to the point where I just don't fucking care about it anymore. Like, I just... If this nation burns to the ground due to its own fucking hypocrisy and the people's stupidity, I just got to where I just... It was just a time coming. Hopefully we can try and make things better, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think if anything, it's going to get worse. And these are also the same people. It's like right to life and all that. I mean, you guys practically you fuck everyone else over, and then you want to try and criticize people whenever they can't get an abortion. And then you'll try and say, "Oh, they're mooching," which there are some moochers out there on this fucking world. It happens. There are people who have no fucking ambition to better themselves whatsoever, and those types of people I don't really fucking care for. But they do have a right to their own autonomy. And I do think that there are some legitimate kind of restrictions that could apply to abortion. I don't necessarily care that much for the idea of abortion, but I do like the right being there because it is a right. Even if I don't necessarily care for it, I'll still try to fight for other people's rights. It's not that fucking hard. It's called being consistent to the ideas of freedom, being consistent to the ideas of the fucking Enlightenment period that this country was supposed to be, built upon. Yet we have these fucking idiots practically defying it. But yeah, if you like me raging, like, comment, subscribe. That's all.